In 2021, an anime called Vivy, Fluorite Song aired and ran for 13 episodes. In case you couldn't glean the premise from that very clear title, the show follows the titular Vivy, officially known as Diva, an autonomous songstress AI specifically designed to bring happiness by singing with all her heart, whatever that means. However, she ends up getting roped into a century-long scheme by a time-traveling AI named Matsumoto, who guides her through several critical moments in history as they attempt to prevent an AI uprising that would see humanity wiped out. Think Terminator 2 crossed with Love Live by way of the studio that made Attack on Titan. So, pretty good. Very good actually, better than I remember, but also more complicated than I remember. Because although this show only came out 4 years ago, the connotations of the term AI have gotten, well, controversial feels putting it lightly. In 2025, it's hard to think of a more loaded term than AI, especially in relation to creative spaces such as art, writing, acting, and music. Even as recently as 2021, artificial intelligence conjured distant future images of hyper-advanced androids and supercomputers that feel so human you can't even tell they aren't. And now when you hear AI, you think stolen art, anatomically terrifying body parts, and emotionally manipulative chatbots. Please like and sub, I had to sift through some fucking grotesque images to get some that wouldn't make you throw up. Far from the future we were promised. I could chat a lot about just my feelings about just AI in general, mostly how it's being used in art, especially as a person who does make art, but that would just kind of be sad and angry and I don't know, man. The world makes me feel like that on a daily basis. It doesn't need any help from me. So I'll just say, Uncle Al, you're a disappointment and leave it at that. If I'm gonna have to talk about AI, I'm gonna talk about it through the lens of something that was at least actually made by human hands, which is pretty ironic given the show's premise as I just described. Or is it? Vivy, when you get down to it, is about drive, motivation, and emotion. It's very concerned with the motivations behind why people do anything and the feelings that drive them to achieve those goals. This is applied in universe with AI missions where, to keep them focused, AIs are given one singular mission that defines their life purpose. Specifically in regards to the protagonist, Vivy is particularly hung up on what it means to sing with all your heart, something she struggles with for the entirety of the series, specifically when it comes to defining what heart is. A very human question with very human difficulties in answering. To generalize a bit, I imagine it is something that every artist, no matter their form, asks themselves at some point. What does it really mean to put all of me into something? It's a question that comes up again and again throughout the series, as Vivy sees both AI and humans fight and die for what they believe in, devoted to their missions just as much as she is to hers, though it isn't until much later that she actually begins to understand it more when she begins writing her own original song. In an interesting way that I don't even know is intentional or not, the show basically future-proofs itself by explicitly drawing a line between humans having AI write music for them, and an AI choosing to write music of its own volition, making its own deliberate and organic choices, with the show even kind of looking down on the former by clarifying that it isn't actually AI, since none of those songs have any true thought or decision-making put into them. They're artificial, certainly, but not intelligent. All of this might sound a little strange considering this whole show is about AI music and creativity, but I think the show makes it pretty clear that not only is AI music as we understand it today not intelligent, but that there's nothing intelligent about the way humanity has been using AI in general. As it turns out, the reason the AI uprising happened, and is doomed to always happen no matter what Vivy or Matsumoto do, is not because of a glitch or virus or anything like that. It is a conscious choice by the AI Central Archive, basically a nexus point for all artificial intelligence in the world. As a system made to ensure the evolution of humanity, the archive would then watch for the next 100 years as humanity went backwards. Their reliance on AI, willingly giving up all responsibility to their autonomous servants, made them slovenly, stagnant, lazy. They no longer tried new things, no longer took risks, no longer pushed themselves. Why would they? Just get AI to do it. Artificial intelligence didn't enable human evolution, it guaranteed human devolution. And Archive, seeing that humanity had rotted to the point that they were in direct conflict with the mission they themselves gave it, made the decision to wipe the slate clean, kill all humans on the planet, and have AIs take their place as a new humanity. One that still has room to grow. You've seen it before, AI goes rogue, sees humanity as weak and wipes them out, but it's the motivation behind it that makes it interesting, and maybe even a little prescient. That Archive wipes out humanity essentially out of frustration and disappointment is kinda hilarious, not gonna lie. But then again, how else would one feel when shameless sloth is one of the main reasons behind people using AI these days? Why would I bother learning something? I'll just ask AI. Why would I bother trying something? I'll just ask AI. Why would I bother getting someone else to do it? I'll just ask AI. Why would I bother talking to anyone else? I'll just ask AI. Why would I bother doing anything? I'll just ask AI. If I was literally made to oversee human evolution, I'd be pretty fucking disappointed too. In the end though, Vivy does come to understand the meaning of singing with all her heart, not despite her long, arduous and traumatizing troubles, but because of them. To her, heart is synonymous with memories, experience, life. As she grows older, sees more of the world, sees more of humanity, artificial or otherwise, those lived experiences form the foundation of who she is. And by drawing on those memories, on the emotions tied to them, she is finally able to give voice to that overwhelming passion, that drive to do something, that drive to live, that drive to do art. As I've mentioned, it's ironic that this show about an artificial intelligence so beautifully captures the human struggle to create art, but hey, that is the beauty of art, of being able to express yourself in all sorts of weird, abstract and metaphorical ways. It's one of the reasons I get up in the morning, one of the reasons I can still look around and still love this shit rock we call a home. Maybe one day there will be a true artificial intelligence that actually lives up to the name, that can experience and draw upon the same emotion and struggle to not mindlessly regurgitate assets on the vague and bored whims of its master, but actively pursue and develop inspired creations. If that day ever comes, it will certainly be a wild one, but until then, I think we'll more than make do ourselves. We've been pushing the boundaries of human creativity the past 10,000 years. Something tells me the well isn't gonna run dry anytime soon. Thank you very much for watching. I'd like to thank my patrons in particular for their support, especially my tier 3 patron, Michael Coolwood. If you'd like to help support me while also getting stuff like behind the scenes updates and early access to videos and music, then you can follow the link to join my Patreon in the description below. Also, if you're a fan of audio dramas and podcasts or just general fiction in the vein of stuff like the Magnus Archives, Twin Peaks and Gravity Falls, then check out the podcast King's Creek, which is produced and composed by me. Link is also in the description. Finally, I'd like to announce that I'll be appearing on Zeitgeist Mistress, aka Nina, and Dark Fry's charity stream, helping to raise money for a trans friend who needs to escape their current living situation. They'll be playing Disco Elysium from the 12th to the 13th of July. I'll be joining on the 13th, along with a bunch of other people you might recognise. Show up, have fun, and maybe help someone out who really needs it. Link to Dark Fry's channel where the stream will be hosted is in the description. With that being said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.